Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of ranking every shiny Pokemon from this generation, which today will be Generation 6. Now, this generation was definitely difficult, but not because there were so many Pokemon, it's the fact that there weren't many. And not only were there few Pokemon, most of them were pretty good shinies because this is the first generation that Game Freak specifically chose every shiny. So it wasn't easy, but I finally compiled a list of my favorite shiny Pokemon in Generation 6. To save on a little bit of time, I might gloss over some of the Mega Shinies, mostly because I've already talked about the Shinies in previous generations, and they're just very similar to the normal forms, so if you guys want to go see those, definitely go check out the other rankings. Before we continue with the video, I just want to mention that 96% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so if you would do so, it would help me out a lot. Thank you, and continue the video. So coming in at the very last spot in Generation 6, we have Mega Audino. Oh my gosh, guys, Mega Audino is not good. It's got a slight change, and I will say there's no Pokemon in this generation that just don't change, so that's good. But this one is just so slight. So like I said, none of these shinies have the problem where they don't really change at all, but I will say these lower ones do have slight changes. And next we have Mega Blaziken. Some of the Pokemon from the past generations that got Mega Evolutions had bad shinies, and the Megas fixed that. They didn't do that with Blaziken. So next we have Hoopa, and it's a very interesting Pokemon. It's not boring, it's a mythical Pokemon, but its shiny's just gold, and not a good gold either. It's like a gross gold, and the golds overlap each other. It just doesn't go well together. Next, we have Mega Kangaskhan, which I will give props to because it does continue the shiny from its normal form, but at the same time, its shiny isn't all that great. I'm kind of sad to say this because I can't say that I hate these shinies, but Mega Latios and Mega Latias aren't great. I'm a big voucher for green shinies being good, but they're the same shiny. I didn't know until ranking these that the eye colors were different, and that was how you could tell the difference between them. I just wish there was some way to tell the difference between them, and if there were, they would probably be ranked higher, but it just frustrates me that they're hard to tell from each other. I've always been pretty disappointed in Froakie's shiny because Greninja's is great, but Froakie's just lighter, and I'm looking at it now and it changes a little more, but it's just not good. Listen, I think I was just really distracted when I was recording this because I accidentally missed two Pokemon when originally recording this. So Carbink is going to go here, and then later you'll see that I accidentally also left out another one. Avalugg and Bergmite are next, and their shinies are alright. I like the yellow on the bottoms, I just kind of wish that the blue would have changed too. Flabebe and Floette go here, and I will say, I do kind of like these shinies. It's just really hard to tell, especially on Flabebe, because it's such a small Pokemon and you have to look very, very closely to it. And I'm fine if the flower doesn't change, that's fine, but I wish that more of the Pokemon itself changed. Next we have Mega Abomasnow, which just gets a little bluer on the already blue. Mega Glalie just adopts its previous shiny, and it kind of gets a little uglier. Not the shiny, the Pokemon. Personally, I think Mega Pidgeot is a better version of its original shiny, so I think it's improved. Mega Diancie and Diancie are very similar because they're based on the same Pokemon, and it's alright, it's fine. Once again, we have another Mega that just borrowed from its normal form, which, to be fair, I do really like when it does that because I like continuity, but it's Aerodactyl and its shiny was already eh. Mega Slowbro, once again, is just continuing off of its previous evolution shiny, and it's pretty good. This next shiny makes me really upset. I really like shiny Lucario as its normal version. However, when it Mega Evolves, it decides to get a grosser color for some reason instead of just keeping the normal colors. It still looks alright, but come on, it's such an easy job and they just messed it up. Next we have Talonflame, Fletchling, and Fletchinder. Overall, pretty good shinies. I like the brown adapted into the coloring, and it looks good. Shiny Manectric's pretty good. It kind of looks like a dark storm cloud, and it adopts from its previous. So I accidentally forgot to record the part where I talked about Inkay, but Inkay will go here. I really like the gold on it, and I think this is a good place for it. Shiny Mega Altaria is pretty good. It turns into a nice yellow color, which I like, but there could be more done with it. Mega Garchomp is one of those shinies that got fixed when it Mega Evolved, and I do really like it. It's just sometimes I feel like it's too much pink. Next we have Pinsir, which is also very reminiscent of its previous form. Don't get me wrong, I really do like Shiny Tyrantrum, and I do like when it Mega Evolves. It's just there's so many good shinies in this generation. So Shiny Florges is up here higher than the other two because I feel like it's more obvious change and there's more to it. Mega Gallade is pretty reminiscent of its previous form, and again, it's cool. Klefki's an interesting one. I really like the blue that's added, and like the bronze goldish color that gets added I think is really cool too. It's like another metal hue. I used to not like Shiny Pyroar or Litleo, but they've grown on me a lot and I actually like them now. I like how Shiny Malamar looks because it very much fits the aesthetic of the Pokemon. I know it would have been kind of hard to do it, but I feel like Vivian could have had a better shiny. More could have changed and made it more obvious like its pre-evolutions, but I understand that that would be hard considering all the forms. Pancham and Pangoru were next. I do think that the brown could be a little too much, maybe there was too much brown added to it, but I do really like it. Mega Steelix is similar to its previous form. Mega Blastoise is also similar to its previous form. Mega Absol, obviously, similar to its previous form. Mega Aggron, oh guess what, similar to its previous form. I will say, Mega Mawile is different from its previous form, and I think it adds a little bit more to it, and I really appreciate that. Next we have Frogadier, which basically does just get a little bit lighter like its pre-evolution, but I think it's getting closer to that darker tone like its evolution. Mega Alakazam once again will take from its previous form. Same with Houndoom, but I feel like it gets a little bit redder on the browner areas, which I do kind of like. Helioptile and Heliolisk are both very cool. I really like the red that gets added to their coloring. Skrelp and Dragalge are really cool. I really like how they went with the purple, and the blue added to it was a very nice touch. Binacle and Barbaracle are both very good shinies, even though their Pokemon are very weird. I really like Shiny Sableye, so its Mega is obviously going to be a good one. Aromatisse and Spritzee kind of do a reverse on themselves, and they trade the purple and the pink, and I really like that. Mega Gardevoir is very reminiscent of its normal Gardevoir, but I really love that they added black to it because it looks so much better. I think Dedenne is cute, and its shiny has a really cool brown color to it that I think was a good choice. Gourgeist and Pumpkaboo are very Halloween-y Pokemon, and so turning them into these like Halloween colors was such a good idea. Mega Ampharos, as you know, is very similar to its previous form. Meowstic is a really interesting one because it turns into like a goldish yellow color, but it's not a gross one like they usually are. It's a very bright and vibrant and nice color. Esper also turns into this bright, vibrant color, but it turns into a pink, which I also really like. Mega Lopunny is very similar to its previous form. Mega Salamence, interesting Pokemon, also very reminiscent of its previous form. I know, I'm sorry I keep saying that, guys, but it's just true. Sometimes the only thing to get me to like the shiny is turning it from a white to black or a black to white. Furfrou, you are such a good shiny, and I very much admire that. Mega Sharpedo is just a very weird Mega, but it keeps the shiny, so it's good. Mega Heracross, also pretty weird, but again, keeps a really good shiny. I really like Swirlix and Slurpuff because even though it's weird coloring for like a cotton candy Pokemon, I think it fits the sweets category of a Pokemon anyways, so it still fits good. Mega Swampert just gets really buff, but I really like the orange emphasis that they put on the highlights. For Mega Banette, they changed the pink on it to a little bit of a brighter pink, which I actually do like. I'm glad they changed it at least a little bit, but I do really like Banette shiny anyways. Mega Mewtwo X and Y are both very weird and very reminiscent of their previous form, but I do appreciate how they incorporated the green into the new shinies. Once again, Gyarados is made even cooler by Mega Evolving it and turning it even redder. Mega Venusaur, once again, very similar to its previous form. Aurorus and Amora are both very cool Pokemon. I really like how the Ice type adds to it turning white with its shiny. It very much fits. Mega Scizor has its normal lime green coloring and a little bit of a dark green to it, which I really like. Next we have Yveltal, which is a legendary in this generation, and I feel like they did good with its shiny because I really like the white that they add to it. Once again, the transition from black and white shinies really affects me, which is why Skiddo and Go-Goat are both very good shinies. Goodra, Sliggoo, and Goomy all turn into this yellow and pink color, which I really enjoy, and I think it fits them really well. Spipa and Scatterbug are way higher than Vivian because they have a much more obvious change. They're pretty big in their change, and I very much enjoy it. Xerneas, once again, the black and white change, but it's such a beautiful Pokemon. Chespin, Quilladin, and Chestnut are all awesome shinies, and they're really good shinies for our starter Pokemon's line. Diggersby and Bunnelby both turn into this white and gray Pokemon, and I really very much enjoy it. Tyrunt and Tyrantrum have a beautiful blue to them, and it's just a weird shiny that you wouldn't expect, but it's really good. Most people aren't going to agree with this one, but I really like Shiny Volcanion, and I think I have to put it this high. Zygarde is another really cool one. It goes from like these dark colors into like a minty fresh color, which I really enjoy. Trevenant and Phantump have beautiful shinies. I love how their tree color turns into more of like a birch tree color. It was very clever, and the leaves turn into more of an autumn color. Very clever Pokemon shiny. Shiny Sylveon is so pretty. It goes from a pink to a blue, which kind of gives me cotton candy vibes again, but again, it's just such a good shiny. Shiny Hawlucha is such a... First of all, Hawlucha is a good Pokemon in general, but it's shiny. It's just so good. I like the darker tones that it picks up, and it definitely adds to this wrestler kind of vibe. Ever since I've seen them, Noivern and Noibat shinies have been astounding to me. I love the bluish green that they have. It's just so pretty. Just because we've seen half these Mega Shinies before doesn't mean that they're good, which is why Mega Medicham is up this high. Mega Charizard X basically was trying to build off the hype of black shiny Charizard. So when they made it shiny, they obviously couldn't keep it black, so they made it into like a green or blue, which is still really good, but I think Y is better. However, next we have Mega Sceptile, which does take from its previous shiny, although I think it's such a good one. Then we have Charizard Y, which again picks up from the previous Charizard shiny, and I think is a better one. Shiny Metagross is blue that gets added to it. I mean, we're just adding more color to a shiny that's already amazing. I mean, come on. Mega Camerupt, also a shiny that's already really good, so its Mega Evolved is also really good. Next, we finally have another shiny that gets better when it Mega Evolves. We have Gengar, and oh my gosh, white is such a better option than whatever its freaking normal shiny is. Spoiler for my other shiny ranking videos, but Beedrill was my favorite shiny in Generation 1, so it's going to be very high when its Mega Evolution pops up in Generation 6. Originally when ranking Primal Kyogre, I ranked it really low because I forgot that the black wasn't already there. And so when I looked at the normal coloring, I was like, wait a second, it goes from a blue to a black and then puts the pink from its previous shiny in it. It's such a freaking good shiny. And once again, people are going to disagree with this one, but I do think that Primer Groudon is a better shiny, so there's that. Here we go, we're going for the top 10 shiny Pokemon in Generation 6. Delphox, Braixen, and Fennekin all make it into the top 10 because the gray and the red and the purple, all of it goes together so nicely, and I love their shinies. Another one people might disagree on, especially for putting it this low, I'm gonna have to say Greninja. Listen, I agree Greninja has an amazing shiny, but I do think that there are some that have better. Doublade, Aegislash, then Honedge, we have the 3 sword Pokemon that are really weird, but their shinies are just magnificent. I don't understand it. They're just gorgeous. Next, we have our last Mega of the list. It is Mega Rayquaza, coming in with its black shiny that we've already seen before in its previous, but it's just so good, and they did a good job at putting it on the newer one, and it's a beautiful shiny. And finally, coming in spots number 2 and then 1, we have Clauncher and Clawitzer. I love these shinies because the real world connection that we have to them. We actually do have blue lobsters in real life, and we have red lobsters in real life. So turning them red with the blue, it's just such a good idea, and they go really well together, and I just love them. Anyway, that is the end of my shiny ranking for Generation 6. I really hope you guys enjoy. If you guys disagree or agree, possibly, with any of the things that I said, please let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and check out my other generation rankings. I've done most of them so far, and I'd love for you to check them out. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. So I do want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video or stream. Bye!